Okay, so this is actually a sample page of the database that I created over the course of 3 years for mobile experts. And I was the only one involved in this project for the most part. Um, and as you can see, there are a bunch of different details I defined. It was specifically a database on mobile network operators all around the world, which means that I was finding operators like Verizon and AT&T and all the different technologies that they use. Um, and yeah, you can see right here. So I'll list the continent, the country, the operator itself, the owner of that operator, the number of subscribers in that specific country, the air interface of the technology, the mode of technology that it uses, and the frequency band. And there was another tab for all the different bands and specifically showed you, oh, band 1 means 2100 megahertz versus band 3 might be 1800 megahertz. There's all those different bands, and it lists them, and it's very concise. And there are also specific megahertz when I could find them. It was pretty hard to find on a lot of countries because people want to keep it secretive. But here, like for Sideham Mobile, I was able to find that the uplink start was 1920 megahertz, and the uplink finish is 1935. And I think I found that one through government records. And a lot of times that was how I found them, just by going through what specific licenses were given on what time, and then I'll say how much spectrum exactly they might have in that band. And then there are other details like the launch date. Maybe this one was launched July 2008. There's all different things that I had to find, and I think there's even more than this for some of the operators that I was able to find, like how many base stations they have to that country, or maybe if it was regional, like how many circles. But this is like a sample page, so I'm just giving you some of the generic like general things that I found. And there's also another part, which was the carrier aggregation database, and that was more advanced technologies that they would use two different frequency bands at once and kind of mesh them, and use different bandwidths to like make the bandwidth speed faster and give people faster actual gigabits or megabits. So, for example, we'll have Canada here, or China Mobile, of course, and you get all the different subscribers they might have and the specific type of the carrier aggregation, whether it's inter or intra, whether it's contiguous or non-contiguous, whether the bands are lined up specifically and the megahertz is together, and then which bands they're using, and how much spectrum within each band it's using. So it's pretty helpful if you work in the mobile industry to know these kinds of things and these details. There's one for how many downlink bands and one for uplink bands, and for which 3GPP release they were working off of and what standards they used, and then of course timing when they actually released it. So there's all these different details, but the database is like 2,000 lines long, probably more than that, probably 2,300 by now. And it's basically a way for us to analyze the mobile industry and see where things are going. And we've sold this actual product to a few different customers, so it is a serious thing, and I'm very proud to say that I basically made it single-handedly. But yeah, thank you very much. This is just my way of showing you what I've done.